Money has a way of turning even the sweetest family moments into battlegrounds. I learned this truth while staring at the reservation book. My fingers tracing over my mother-in-law's elegant signature sprawled across our most expensive suite booking, for 2 whole weeks. I'm Layla, and I run Springside Inn, our family's pride nestled in Colorado's hot springs country. The lodge has been my sanctuary, my purpose, until today. Now it feels like a pressure cooker about to explode. Did you see this? I wave the booking ledger at Margaret, my mother, who's arranging fresh flowers at the front desk. Evelyn's reserved the Emperor Suite. Again. Oh? Margaret doesn't look up from her roses. That's nice. The spring festival should bring good business. Nice? She hasn't paid for her last 3 stays. That's $12,000 we're never seeing again. Layla, dear. Don't dear me, Mom. You know exactly what she's doing. The heavy wooden doors swing open, and there she is, Evelyn Parker in all her glory, trailing Hermes scarves and entitlement like a cape behind her. 3 equally well-dressed women follow in her wake, their designer luggage wheeled by our porters. Darling. Evelyn air kisses both my cheeks, leaving behind a cloud of Chanel No. 5. The drive was absolutely dreadful, but worth it to see my favorite daughter-in-law. I'm your only daughter-in-law, I want to say. Instead, I force a smile. Evelyn. We weren't expecting you until tomorrow. Oh, but the weather was so perfect for a drive. Ladies, this is Layla, my son's wife. She helps run this charming little place. Helps run? I've been executive director for 5 years, but Evelyn never misses a chance to diminish my role. The women nod politely, their eyes already scanning the lobby, assessing our worth. The Emperor Suite isn't ready yet, I say, knowing full well it's been prepared since morning. Perhaps you'd like to wait in the lounge? Nonsense. I'm sure you can work something out. Evelyn waves her hand dismissively. We're absolutely exhausted. Ladies, shall we? Before I can protest, they're halfway to the elevator, my mother already dispatching housekeeping to prepare the suite. I grab my phone and text Nate, your mother's here. Early. With friends. We need to talk. The response comes quickly, can't talk now. Big meeting. Handle it? Handle it. Like I'm some junior employee dealing with a minor inconvenience. Not his wife trying to prevent our business from bleeding money through his mother's entitled veins. I watch the elevator numbers climb to the top floor, where our finest suite awaits Evelyn and her entourage. $12,000 of unpaid stays, and now she's back for more. The spring festival is our busiest season, that suite could bring in actual paying guests. My phone buzzes again. This time it's a social media notification. There's Evelyn, already posted up in our suite, champagne in hand, captioning, another gorgeous weekend at my son's lovely inn. So blessed. #family perks, #luxury life. The comments pour in, living your best life. So fabulous. You deserve it all, Queen. I close the app, my hands shaking. Through the lobby windows, I watch the sun sink behind the mountains, painting everything in deceptively peaceful golden light. The evening staff arrives for the shift change, and I hear Evelyn's laughter floating down from above. Probably ordering room service she has no intention of paying for. Something inside me shifts, hardens. I've spent 3 years trying to be the perfect daughter-in-law, maintaining peace at the expense of our business. But as I stand here, watching my mother-in-law take advantage of everything my family has built, I realize some things are worth fighting for. I open my laptop and begin typing an email to George, my father-in-law. It's time someone else saw Evelyn's true colors, even if it tears this family apart. The financial reports spread across my desk paint a grim picture, one that Nate refuses to see. 3 months of declining revenue, and here we are, hemorrhaging money through comp stays and unpaid bills. I tap my pen against the spreadsheet where I've highlighted Evelyn's mounting debt in angry yellow. Nate bursts into my office, all easy smiles and casual confidence. Hey, about mom. $12,000, Nate. That's not including the stay. He perches on my desk, pushing aside the papers I've spent hours organizing. Come on, she's family. And she brings in great publicity with her social media presence. Publicity doesn't pay our staff. I pull up Evelyn's latest Instagram post, a poolside shot with her friends, tagged #blessed, #family business. Look at the comments. Everyone thinks we're some kind of luxury playground for your mother's social circle. You're overreacting. Mom's going through a rough patch since the divorce. That was 3 years ago. And she's still adjusting. A knock interrupts us. Margaret stands in the doorway, her face tight with concern. Evelyn's requesting a private dinner set up by the hot springs. For 8 people. Perfect. Nate claps his hands. That'll make great content for her feed. I feel something snap inside me. No. Absolutely not. Layla, both Nate and Margaret start. We're not a charity, we're a business. Your mother hasn't paid for anything in months. Meanwhile, we had to let go of 2 housekeepers last quarter because we couldn't make payroll. Nate's smile finally falters. What? Why didn't you tell me? I've been trying to tell you for months. You're never around for these conversations. I've been busy with the expansion plans. What expansion? We can barely keep the lights on. Margaret clears her throat. Perhaps we should. No, Mom. This needs to be said. I turn back to Nate. Your mother is bleeding us dry, and you're letting her do it. She's my mother. And this is my family's legacy. My grandparents built this place from nothing. They mortgaged everything they had. And now your mother treats it like her personal resort? The silence that follows feels like glass about to shatter. Nate stands, straightening his jacket. I'll handle the dinner arrangement. That's not. I said I'll handle it. He walks out, leaving me with Margaret's disappointed gaze. Honey, there are better ways. Don't. Just. Don't. I grab my laptop and head to the back office, my sanctuary when the main spaces feel too crowded with expectations. Through the window, I watch Evelyn holding court by the pool, her friends hanging on every word. A staff member brings them another round of champagne, probably the expensive stuff we reserve for special occasions. My phone buzzes. It's Henry, my father, need to discuss Q1 numbers. My office? Finally, someone willing to face reality. I'm halfway to his office when I overhear Evelyn's voice from the garden terrace. It's all about knowing how to work the system, darlings. Nate would never deny his mother anything, he knows which side his bread is buttered on. And that wife of his? She may run the books, but we all know who really holds the power here. Laughter follows, crystal glasses clinking in agreement. I stand frozen, my hands shaking with rage and something else, clarity. This isn't just about money anymore. It's about respect, about protecting everything my family has built. About showing Evelyn that actions have consequences, even for people who believe themselves untouchable. My phone buzzes again. This time it's George, responding to my email from yesterday. Call me. We need to talk about Evelyn. I smile, feeling the first stirrings of hope. George has always been the practical one, the voice of reason in the family. If anyone can understand the damage Evelyn is doing, it's him. But as I dial his number, doubt creeps in. Am I really ready to tear this family apart? To risk my marriage over principle? Then I hear another burst of laughter from the terrace, and I remember, some things are worth fighting for, even if you have to fight alone. George's response wasn't what I expected. Meet me at Carlo's in 20 minutes, he said, his voice carrying the weight of decisions already made. And Layla? Come alone. Carlo's is a dive bar 3 miles from the inn, the kind of place Evelyn wouldn't be caught dead in. Perfect. I grab my coat, telling Margaret I'm running errands. She gives me that look, the one that says she knows I'm plotting something but won't ask what. The bar is empty except for George, nursing what looks like straight whiskey at a corner table. He pushes a manila envelope across the sticky surface as I sit down. Credit card statements, he says. Bank records. Everything from the past 2 years. I open the envelope, and my hands start trembling. These are Evelyn's. She's been doing this everywhere. High-end hotels, restaurants, spas. Running up bills she can't pay, using our family name like a get-out-of-jail-free card. The numbers swim before my eyes, hundreds of thousands in debt. Does she even have any money left? She burned through her divorce settlement in the first year. George downs his drink. I've been covering her debts quietly, trying to protect Nate from the truth. But I'm done. Why now? Because she's not just hurting herself anymore. She's dragging down everything you and your family built. A commotion at the door makes us both freeze. Evelyn's voice carries through the bar like expensive perfume in a crowded room. George? The bartender at the club said you might be here. How? Quaint. She spots us, her perfectly made-up face shifting from surprise to calculation in an instant. Well, isn't this cozy? My ex-husband and daughter-in-law having secret meetings in bars. Evelyn, George starts. Save it. She slides into our booth, uninvited. I assume you're discussing my little arrangement with the inn? Darling, if you were concerned about the bills, you could have just talked to me directly. Like I've been trying to for months? The words come out sharper than intended. Oh, please. A few unpaid stays? I bring invaluable exposure to your little business. My social media influence alone is worth exactly nothing, George cuts in, sliding the bank statements toward her. Game's over, Evelyn. She doesn't even glance at the papers. You're overreacting. Both of you. You're banned from the inn. The words leave my mouth before I can stop them. The silence that follows feels like the moment before an avalanche. Excuse me? Evelyn's voice drops to a dangerous whisper. Until you pay your outstanding balance, you're not welcome at Springside Inn. No more stays, no more fancy dinners, no more social media posts. You can't do that. Nate would never. Nate doesn't make these decisions. I do. And I'm done watching you destroy everything we've built. Evelyn's laugh is brittle. Oh, sweetheart. You really don't understand how this works, do you? One call to Nate about his wife's shocking behavior, her cruel treatment of his poor mother. How long do you think your marriage will survive that? Are you threatening me? I'm educating you. Family is everything, Layla. And at the end of the day, blood will always be thicker than water. She stands, smoothing her designer dress. I'll expect a formal apology by dinner. And perhaps we should discuss upgrading my suite, the view really isn't what it could be. After she leaves, George and I sit in stunned silence. Finally, he speaks, you know she'll make good on that threat. Let her try. I pull out my phone, opening my email. I just recorded our entire conversation. George's eyebrows rise. That's devious. I learned from the best. I start typing. I'm sending this to Henry, along with the financial records. It's time the whole family knew exactly who they're protecting. This will tear the family apart. No, I say, hitting send. Evelyn already did that. I'm just making sure everyone sees the damage. My phone immediately starts buzzing with notifications. The avalanche has begun, and there's no stopping it now. The recording spreads through the family like wildfire. By midnight, my phone has 37 missed calls, and Nate still hasn't come home. I sit in our darkened kitchen, watching his location hover at his mother's condo across town. Henry's text arrives at 2 a.m., emergency board meeting. Tomorrow. 8 a.m. sharp. I'm already there at 7:30, reviewing the financial records when Nate storms in. The shadows under his eyes match the darkness in his expression. You recorded my mother? Secretly? Someone had to expose the truth. The truth? He laughs, but there's no humor in it. The truth is my wife conspired with my father to humiliate my mother. How long have you two been planning this? This isn't about. The boardroom door opens. Margaret enters first, then Henry, followed by George. Evelyn sweeps in last, wearing designer black like she's attending a funeral. Maybe she is, the death of her charade. Henry clears his throat. Before we begin, I want her removed from the board. Evelyn's voice cuts through the room. She's clearly unfit to manage this establishment. That's not your decision to make, Henry says. No? Evelyn pulls out her phone. Let's discuss the inn's reputation after I share that recording with my 50,000 followers. How many cancellations do you think you'll get when people learn how you treat family? About as many as we'll get when they learn you've been defrauding us, I counter. Defrauding? Nate steps forward. She's family. This isn't some corporate hotel chain. No, it's worse. I pull up the spreadsheets I prepared. It's personal. Every dollar she stole came from our future, Nate. From the family we talked about starting, the improvements we planned. Don't you dare make this about our family. It's always been about family. I'm standing now, hands pressed against the cool wood of the conference table. Your mother has been stealing from us for years, and you've been too blind to see it. Enough. Henry's voice silences the room. Evelyn, your outstanding balance with the inn currently stands at $97,000. How do you plan to address this? She waves her hand dismissively. George has always handled these little financial matters. Not anymore, George says quietly. The money's gone, Evelyn. All of it. The silence that follows feels like glass breaking in slow motion. What do you mean, gone? Nate asks. The trust fund, the divorce settlement, everything. George looks tired, ancient. I've been covering her debts for years, but there's nothing left. Evelyn's perfectly composed facade cracks. You're lying. Show them your accounts, I challenge. Prove me wrong. She turns to Nate instead, tears welling up. Darling, you can't let them do this to me. I'm your mother. Nate looks between us, torn between loyalty and truth. There has to be some mistake. The only mistake, Henry interrupts, was letting this continue for so long. Evelyn, you have two options. Pay your debts in full by the end of the month, or face legal action. You wouldn't dare. Try me. Evelyn stands, straightening her designer jacket. Nate, we're leaving. I won't stay here to be insulted. But Nate doesn't move. He's staring at the financial records, at years of deception laid bare in cold numbers. Nate? Her voice wavers. Is it true? He asks quietly. All of it? Of course not. They're manipulating you, turning you against your own mother. The numbers don't lie, I say softly. But you do, Evelyn. You always have. She turns on me, mask finally dropping completely. You think you've won? This isn't over. Nate, choose right now, your mother or your wife. The ultimatum hangs in the air like poison. I watch my husband's face, seeing the boy who never learned to say no to his mother wrestling with the man who promised to build a life with me. I need time, he says finally, and walks out. Evelyn follows, triumph in her stride, but I see the fear behind her eyes. She knows what I know, the truth is out now, and there's no putting it back in its box. The question is, what will it destroy first, her carefully crafted world, or my marriage? 3 days after the board meeting, I find Nate's resignation letter on my desk. Not handed to me personally, just left there like a bomb waiting to detonate. The coward's way out. I'm still staring at it when Margaret rushes in. Evelyn's on the local news. The television in the lobby shows Evelyn, perfectly composed in designer clothes, tears glistening. A family business turned corporate nightmare. My own daughter-in-law, conspiring with my ex-husband to destroy me financially. My phone explodes with notifications. Social media is already picking sides, hashtags trending, hashtag justice for Evelyn, hashtag family betrayal, hashtag Springside scandal. She's playing victim, I say, my voice surprisingly steady. And she's winning. Layla, Margaret starts, but I'm already moving, heading for the parking lot where I know George will be arriving for his morning coffee routine. He's there, looking older than ever. You've seen it? She's destroying us. No, he corrects, she's destroying herself. But she'll take everyone down with her if we let her. My phone buzzes, a text from Nate, Mom's staying with me. We need time apart. Time apart. Like this is just another married couple spat, not economic warfare, dressed up in family dynamics. I have something, George says quietly, pulling out another envelope. Bank records from before the divorce. Evidence of fraud, not just against the inn, but against multiple businesses. Criminal charges, if we pursue them. My hands shake as I read. This would ruin her. Yes. And Nate would never forgive me. Probably not. I think about our empty house, about Nate choosing his mother's manipulation over our future. About years of watching Evelyn take and take, never facing consequences. My phone rings, Henry. The cancellations are starting. 3 wedding parties just pulled out. I close my eyes, remembering my grandparents' stories of building this place, of surviving recessions and natural disasters. Of never giving up. We need to act now, George says. Before she does more damage. There has to be another way. There isn't. Not anymore. A notification pops up, Evelyn's posted another video, this time walking through the inn's halls, pointing out evidence of mismanagement. Spinning tales of family betrayal. The comments are vicious, calling for boycotts. She'll destroy everything, I whisper. Unless we stop her. I look at the envelope again, thinking of Nate's empty side of the bed, of Evelyn's smug smile at the board meeting. Of years of manipulation finally coming to a head. If we do this, I say slowly, there's no going back. There's no going back anyway. The question is whether we let her write the ending. My phone buzzes again, another cancellation notification. Then another. The inn's reputation, built over generations, unraveling in real time. I think about revenge, about justice, about the fine line between them. About how protecting what you love sometimes means becoming the villain in someone else's story. Do it, I say finally. Release everything. George nods, already dialing his lawyer's number. I walk back into the inn, past the whispers of staff watching Evelyn's video, past Margaret's concerned gaze, straight to my office. There, I pull out my own resignation letter, not to quit, but to fight. Dear board members. I hereby request emergency powers to protect Springside Inn from ongoing financial and reputational damage. The words flow easily now, fueled by something darker than revenge, but cleaner than hatred. This isn't about getting even anymore. It's about survival. My phone lights up with Nate's face, his first direct call in days. I let it ring, watching until the screen goes dark. Some bridges you burn. Others you blow up, to prevent the enemy from crossing. I'm done trying to tell the difference. I sign the letter, knowing tomorrow's headlines will paint me as the ruthless daughter-in-law who destroyed a family. But families, like businesses, sometimes need pruning to survive. And I've always been good with scissors. The evidence hits the media like a tsunami. Local news, social platforms, industry blogs, everywhere I look, I see Evelyn's carefully constructed world crumbling. Bank statements, fraudulent charges, forged documents, years of deception laid bare for public consumption. I should feel triumphant. Instead, I'm sitting in my darkened office, watching the inn's security cameras as reporters swarm the entrance like vultures. Henry appears in my doorway. Police are here. My heart stops. Already? Not for us. For Evelyn. Apparently, there were other victims. Other businesses. The satisfaction I expected feels hollow. On my phone, Nate's latest message glows. How could you do this to her? The door bursts open. Evelyn storms in, mascara streaking down her face, George following close behind. You vindictive little bitch, she spits. Are you happy now? Evelyn, George starts. Don't. This is all your fault too. She turns back to me. You think you've won? You've destroyed this family. You did that yourself, I say, but my voice wavers. Did I? Who released those records? Who contacted the authorities? She laughs, a brittle sound. You know what's funny? I actually respected you once. Thought you were different from the gold diggers Nate usually dated. This isn't about. It's about power. Control. You couldn't stand that Nate chose me over you, could you? He didn't choose you. You manipulated him. Did I? Or did you drive him away with your obsession with bringing me down? The security monitor shows police entering the lobby. Margaret's directing them toward us, her face drawn with worry. They're going to arrest me, Evelyn says quietly. In front of everyone. Is that what you wanted? For the first time, I see fear crack through her perfect facade. Real fear, not the manufactured tears from her media appearances. You did this to yourself, I repeat, but the words taste like ash. Maybe. But you'll never get him back now. She straightens her designer jacket. Nate may hate me for what I've done, but he'll never forgive you for how you did this. The police appear in the doorway. Mrs. Parker? One moment, officers. She turns back to me. You know what the difference is between us? I may be a thief, but at least I never pretended to be anything else. You? You wrapped your revenge in righteousness and called it justice. As they lead her away, her words echo in my head. The news cameras flash, capturing her perfect perp walk. Tomorrow's headlines write themselves, socialite fraudster arrested at family inn. My phone buzzes, Nate again, divorce papers coming tomorrow. Hope it was worth it. George touches my shoulder. You did what had to be done. Did I? The security monitors show guests checking out early, reporters still circling like sharks. Look at this place. Everything my family built. We'll rebuild. Will we? I gesture at my phone, at Nate's message. I saved the inn, but lost everything else. Maybe Evelyn's right. Maybe I'm worse than her. Layla. She stole money. I destroyed lives. I laugh, and it sounds like Evelyn's brittle cackle. All in the name of justice. The door opens again, Henry and Margaret, their faces grim. Board meeting in 10 minutes, Henry says. The investors are nervous. They want someone to blame, Margaret adds softly. Of course they do. And who better than the ruthless daughter-in-law who brought scandal to their prestigious inn? I look around my office, at the family photos I'll have to take down, the life I'll have to dismantle. At the security monitors showing my handiwork, reporters, fleeing guests, police cars. I'll resign, I say quietly. Layla, no. It's the only way to save what's left. I start gathering my things, each movement feeling like surrender. Evelyn wins after all. The irony would be funny if it didn't hurt so much. In trying to save my family's legacy, I'd become the very thing I fought against, someone who destroys families to get what they want. Outside, the cameras are still flashing, capturing the end of more than just Evelyn's reign. They're documenting my fall too, even if they don't know it yet. Some victories feel an awful lot like defeat. The judge's decision comes down like a thunderbolt, community service at Springside Inn, under my supervision. Evelyn's face turns ghost white as the terms are read, 6 months of working regular shifts, to repay her debts. This is impossible, she sputters. I have a medical condition. The only condition you have is chronic entitlement, George interrupts. And it ends now. The courtroom empties, leaving just our fractured family. Nate stands between us, looking lost. He hasn't signed the divorce papers yet, they sit in my office drawer like a loaded gun. I won't do it, Evelyn declares. I'll appeal. Then you'll go to prison, George says flatly. Your choice, Evelyn. Work or jail. She turns to Nate, reaching for his arm. Darling, you can't let them. Stop. Nate's voice cracks. Just stop manipulating everyone. The silence that follows feels like breaking glass. I check my watch. Your first shift starts in an hour. Housekeeping needs help turning rooms. Housekeeping? She practically chokes on the word. I don't clean toilets. You do now. I hand her a uniform. And you'll wear this, not Chanel. Her fingers close around the fabric like it might bite her. You're enjoying this? No. And surprisingly, I mean it. I'm trying to save this family. Even if it means breaking it first. Nate looks between us, something shifting in his expression. I'll help. What? Evelyn and I speak simultaneously. If Mom's working shifts, so am I. It's time I learned what running this place really means. An hour later, I watch through the security cameras as Evelyn struggles with her first unmade bed. Nate works alongside her, both of them fumbling with fitted sheets and pillowcases. Their movements are awkward, unpracticed, a society woman and her pampered son learning the meaning of real work. Margaret appears beside me. It's a start. Or an ending. Sometimes they're the same thing. By evening, Evelyn's perfect manicure is chipped, her designer hair limp with sweat. She sits in the staff room, staring at her blistered hands. 15 rooms, she says when I enter. Is that all you managed today? That's standard for new staff. How do they do it? Day after day? Because they have to. Because this is real life, not your social media fantasy. She looks up, and for the first time, I see something real in her eyes. I never meant. I didn't think. That's the problem. You never thought about anyone but yourself. Nate comes in, his own hands showing signs of honest work. The guests in 204 complained about their towels. Did you comp their stay? Evelyn asks automatically. No, he says slowly. I apologized and brought fresh towels. Like a normal person. Something passes between mother and son, a recognition, perhaps, of patterns broken and lessons learned. I can't do this for 6 months, Evelyn whispers. You can. You will. I set tomorrow's schedule on the table. Because somewhere under all that entitlement is the woman George once loved. The mother Nate deserves. And what about you? She meets my eyes. What do you get out of this? Peace. Maybe. Or at least the knowledge that I tried to fix what's broken instead of just burning it all down. Nate touches my arm, the first contact in weeks. I'm sorry. For not seeing it sooner. We all have our blind spots. I look at Evelyn. Some bigger than others. She picks up tomorrow's schedule, hands shaking slightly. I suppose learning to make beds is better than prison orange. That's the spirit. As they leave for the night, Evelyn moving like every muscle hurts, Nate hovering protectively, I realize something. Revenge doesn't taste like victory. It tastes like hope. Hope that sometimes the hardest lessons lead to the deepest healing. The divorce papers remain unsigned in my drawer. Tomorrow will bring more challenges, more resistance, more painful growth. But for now, watching mother and son walk away together, both humbled by honest work, I feel something I haven't felt in months. The possibility of redemption. The unsigned divorce papers burn in the fireplace while Nate and I sit in silence, watching our potential ending turn to ash. Outside, the first snow of the season dusts Springside's grounds, transforming our battleground into something softer, more forgiving. She asked for the morning shift today, Nate says quietly. Voluntarily. I nod, thinking of Evelyn's transformation over these past weeks. The designer clothes replaced by practical uniforms, manicured hands growing calloused, complaints turning to quiet determination. The guests love her, I admit. She has a way of making them feel special. Like she used to do with me. Nate's voice catches. Before the money and status became everything. Through the window, we watch Evelyn directing the morning staff, her movements precise and purposeful. No more artificial charm, just honest work and earned respect. I found this in her locker, I say, sliding over a handwritten note. Guest comments, carefully collected. Mrs. Parker made our anniversary special. Thank you for the extra blankets at midnight. Your kindness meant everything. Nate reads them, something shifting in his expression. She's different. We all are. The door opens, and George enters with Henry, both carrying financial reports. The inn's numbers are recovering, reputation slowly rebuilding. The board meeting's in 10 minutes, Henry reminds us. Wait. Evelyn appears in the doorway, still in her uniform. I need to say something first. She looks smaller somehow, more real without her designer armor. But her eyes are clearer than I've ever seen them. I've been doing the books for the housekeeping department, she says. Learning what things actually cost. What people are actually worth. She places a check on the desk. It's not everything I owe, but it's a start. From my savings, not George's this time. The amount makes my eyes widen. Nate reaches for the check, but Evelyn pulls back. No. This goes to the staff bonus pool. They've earned it. She turns to me. And you've earned something else. An apology. A real one. Evelyn. Let me finish. You could have destroyed me. Should have, probably. Instead, you gave me what I needed most, consequences. Reality. A chance to remember who I was before I lost myself in appearances. The silence that follows feels different from our previous battles, not loaded with tension, but with possibility. The judge called, George says. Your community service requirement is complete. We all wait for Evelyn's reaction, expecting perhaps a sign of relief or triumph. Instead, she straightens her uniform. I'd like to keep my position, she says. If you'll have me. Regular salary, regular hours. No special treatment. Nate makes a sound somewhere between a laugh and a sob. I look at Henry, who nods slightly. The morning shift needs a supervisor, I say. Someone who knows standards. Who cares about details. And family, Evelyn adds softly. Someone who finally understands what that really means. Later, watching her train a new housekeeper with unexpected patience, I feel Nate's hand slip into mine. We never talked about what happens next, he says. No, we didn't. I'm not ready to fix everything. Neither am I. I squeeze his hand. But maybe we start with what we can fix today. The rest will come. Through the window, snow continues falling, covering the old tracks of our battles, leaving clean spaces for new steps. Evelyn catches my eye and nods, not the superficial gesture of before, but something real, earned through shared scars and hard-won wisdom. I think about revenge, about justice, about how sometimes the hardest victory is learning to put down your weapons. About how family isn't just what you're born into or marry into, it's what you choose to build, day by day, mistake by mistake. Forgiveness by forgiveness. The inn's morning bells chime, calling us all to our places. There's work to be done, guests to care for, trust to rebuild. But for the first time in longer than I can remember, it feels less like obligation and more like purpose. Some wars end not with surrender, but with understanding. Some wounds heal stronger than the original flesh. And sometimes, just sometimes, what looks like an ending becomes something else entirely. A beginning we never saw coming.